What's up, guys? This is Alex Quin. I'm a Forbes accredited marketer and global keynote speaker. And this is the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast on Revolver Podcasts. We are a self-development and entrepreneurship community for go-getters to organize their life and business. Get ready to gain knowledge from top-level entrepreneurs and world-class business leaders and be one step closer to becoming the ultimate entrepreneur. This episode is brought to you guys by HoneyBook. HoneyBook is an all-in-one business management platform made for the modern entrepreneur. Manage your invoices, contracts, and payments all in one platform. Go to honeybook.com and use promo code ALEX to get 50% off. What is going on, guys? This is Alex Quin, and you're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. And today we have a crazy, crazy special guest. You guys have no idea how excited the team is to be able to have this guy on the podcast. He has brought our team so much value in the last few months. We've been able to really turn around a lot of our strategies with actionable steps that he's been providing for us to use with all the content he puts on social media. So without further ado, guys, we have Neil Patel. What's going on, Neil?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother. I see that you are extremely busy. You are up to so many crazy moves, and it just takes me back. I remember the first time I saw you on social media was probably when I was around like 19. I'm 25 now. It's like 18, 19. You were doing giveaways on Instagram. Am I correct?
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. So
you were doing like MacBooks. And I was like, man, this guy's onto something.
MacBooks, Beats by Dre, like I would do anything back then. And I was just testing out a lot of different stuff, or more so my team was. Some of those things worked out, some of them didn't. But our main core focus is our ad agency. All those other things are just fun marketing experiments that we tried testing and learning.
Of course. Now, how did you get into the marketing game? How old were you when you really got into this? Like, was this always the path that you wanted to go down?
Not necessarily. It was more so back in the day, I started a job board, right? I was trying to find a job. I couldn't find a job, so I started a job board. And what ended up happening was it came up, popped it up, and no one was coming to my site. Wasn't earning any income. I paid a few marketing firms because at that time I learned you had to do marketing. I know this sounds foolish, but I was like, oh, you pop up a site, people just come. I learned quickly that's not how it works. Eventually I learned what marketing was, paid a few marketing firms, got burned, lost all my money, had no choice but to learn it on my own, got good at it. And then that's what started my marketing career.
Trying to solve your own problems. That's amazing. You try to solve your own issue and you created solutions around it. And around what age were you when you said, all right, I'm going to take this on full time?
Well, I started when I was in my teens. So technically I didn't have a job anyways. I just did it full time because I wasn't making any money.
When did you realize that giving people, because you've always been giving value up front. When did you realize that giving people value up front was going to be the way to be able to scale your agency or to grow as a personal brand?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, like around, like obviously you tried different tactics, you tried different things getting out there and building a client base, but when was it really that turning point for you where you were like, all right, I need to give massive value up front, do all like for example, Ubersuggest. It's the perfect example of value up front. It's free, but it wasn't always like that. So did you learn early on that you needed to do this? Did you obviously keep eye on the landscape of social media and see how everything was changing and say, hey, you know what? This is what I need to do. I need to start making investment, because people get stuck on what they currently have and they don't realize that you have to continue to grow and continue to innovate and expand. And that's something that you've continuously done. When is it that you realized that you needed to completely make moves like Quicksprout or Ubersuggest rather than just continue the growth of marketing?
It took a long time. So it didn't happen overnight. It was a lot of slow, gradual things. Like, for example, I've always known that Google makes a ton of money. We all have. But why is it that the majority of the clicks go to SEO results and yet SEO companies barely make any money, right? Like something's flawed in that model. So I was looking at a lot of these things, and that's why I came up with Ubersuggest. I'm like, let me give it away for free. and see what can happen. It was just experiment, just like that Instagram stuff, right? It was all experiment.
Yeah.
As for the value creation, I've always been that way because when I started off, people helped me out for free and they didn't expect anything in return. So eventually, as I started doing okay, I'm not rich or successful or anything like that, but as I started doing okay, eventually I did the same thing in which I just kept helping out other people for free. I was like, why not? If people are going to help me and it's helped me get to where I am, why wouldn't I do the same for other people?
I get you 100%. And that's what I preach on now. But I wasn't always like that. When I first started out in the marketing game, I kind of wanted to keep it all to myself, like all the secrets to myself, everything to myself. And I quickly realized that through helping people, helping each other, collaborating, strategic partnerships, you get much further faster. So that was a big change for me, at least from the beginning. I had to completely switch my mindset around because I myself have an agency called UADV. And we've pretty much been operating for 5-6 years now. We scaled to about 17 employees at the peak. And then I had to go through a really big change in both like mentally, how I operated my business systems. I was very young. I was 22 years old, trying to figure all of this out, trying to have all this staff. But it was just the constant self-development. Like you, as an entrepreneur, I've learned that reinventing yourself there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are afraid of change or are afraid to embrace change. But I mean, bro, you probably more than anybody know that all of these big decisions that you've had to make, Neil Patel Digital, Quicksprout, Ubersuggest, all of these things that you've continued to add on are always a big risk factor, but they're always part of the growth, and it's necessary to continue growing the business. And you also have to be in the proper mindset to be able to take these things on and continue to expand on everything you have going on.
Exactly. It is big risk. None of them come easy. Some of them end up costing you the farm, right? Like in which they just lose you so much. It's scary. But if you don't take those risks, you'll never get to where you want. At least that's my philosophy.
If you're listening to this podcast, we definitely want to know more about you. Let me know about a time that you took a big risk and how the outcome was. Head over to my Instagram, Alex Quin with one N, and press the contact button on the profile page to either text me or DM me. Now, you had some pushback from making Ubersuggest free. You want to talk a little bit about that?
What do you mean pushback?
Like there was a lot of people that were against maybe having you do it free. When you decided to make that jump, did you have a lot of friction in that change?
So there were some people who were just like, I don't know why you would do it. It's going to give everyone the same competitive advantage. But there wasn't too many people who said that. There was more people who had said, yeah, right, you're not going to give it away for free. And if you do, it's going to suck. And, if they think it's good or bad, that's their opinion, is up to them. Majority of the people, though, said, yeah, we appreciate it. We would love it if you gave it for free. Because why not? Who'd want to spend $100 a month when you can have something for free? I'm not saying we're as good as the people who charge $100, or we're better, or we're worse. That's up to other people to make that decision. And hey, we're free, so they can quickly figure out what they think of us. But my goal is just to provide a ton of value and not worry about monetization in the short run. And even ideally long run, I don't want to charge for Ubersuggest. I do want to keep it free for life if possible.
That was a great decision, man. I mean, obviously, like you said, that everything has its risk, right? You can lose the whole farm, but it's something that you felt was right. And as a digital marketer, as somebody that's in the landscape using all of these tools, it's something that you felt would benefit you if it was presented in that way. And that's what you want to continue pushing forward.
Exactly. And when I look at all the numbers and everything, the usage is just amazing on the tool. So it's starting to work. Does it make me money? No, it costs me $200 a month. So will it make me money in the long run? Hopefully, but who knows how? I don't know, because I'm not charging for the tool, nor do I want to.
Yeah, but it all comes back. It'll come back. It comes back around. Anyways, you're putting out a great tool that's helping a lot of great people. You're teaching a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs in general. And obviously, you're somebody that people could go to when they have a project that they really need to get off the ground that has the proper resources. And then you could leverage Neil Patel Digital, which is helping a lot of people, obviously helping you build all your brands. So all in all, you are providing massive value, and you also have a support system that allows people to grow with you should they have the right business.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And we're the same belief in which if we just keep giving, eventually it'll also help our ad agency grow over time as well.
Yeah, it just goes to show you guys are putting out actionable advice, actionable things that people could engage in immediately, that's giving them results. Therefore, they are your own case studies. Like all of these people that you're helping out are your case study and able to continue to help you grow on your career, which is really, really cool, man. You've had these 2 brands out now, Quicksprout Ubersuggest. I saw you're a New York Times bestselling author. How was that process of writing a book? I'm in the process of writing a book right now, and honestly, it's an extensive process, but it's really, really good. I'm discovering a lot about myself and doing it, and it's quite the challenge.
It is a challenge. It's a pain in the butt. I probably won't do another book again because of it, but it was fun. The whole process was you write a book, you got to pitch it to publishers, and from there you have to keep marketing the book. As I mentioned, it was a pain, wasn't easy to do. Was it rewarding and worth it? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a bit weird. I wish I published the whole book and made it 100% free and just put it online. Some people say, no, people don't find value unless they pay for it. And that could be the case. I just like the concept of giving away knowledge and information for free. I don't believe people should have to pay for it.
And you know what's funny that you just mentioned that, because that takes me to something I wanted to talk to you about just now. I was just reading that the podcast landscape in China it's really, really big right now. It's at about $7 billion. And one of the biggest things they have right now is that they're actually charging for podcast subscriptions. How do you feel about that? Or where do you see us being close to that here in the US? Obviously our podcast base is way smaller here than it is in China, but how do you feel about that?
Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong for charging if that's how you want to make money. See, my mom was a teacher, and that's why education should be for free, because that was the values that I was instilled by my mother. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but those are just the values that I was instilled with. As for podcasting in the US, you mentioned it won't be as big as the US. In China US won't be as big as China. The reason being is population. We don't have that.
Yeah.
But over time, it will continually grow, and we're seeing that. Can people charge for podcast subscriptions? Of course. Can they make money from doing that? Of course. I just do believe there's better ways to monetize than charging for a subscription.
Alrighty, hustlers, let's take a quick break. You're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast with Alex Quin. All right, guys. So let's talk about tools that are actually going to help you build your business. Tools that I'm using right now. One of them is HoneyBook. Are you starting a new business? Do you have multiple clients? HoneyBook provides everything you need to manage your business efficiently. Whether you're an entrepreneur, photographer, consultant, or designer, HoneyBook is an all-in-one business management platform. It lets you streamline your business, look professional with clients, and get paid fast. Combine your invoices, contracts, and payments all in one platform. You can access HoneyBook on desktop or on the mobile app. Go to honeybook.com and use promo code ALEX to get 50% off.
Jason Stone here.
Hi everyone, it's Neil Patel, and you're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle.
This is the motherfucking CEO, Andy Frisella. You're listening to Hustle Inspires Hustle with Alex Quin.
Absolutely. And at least in your business model, you have it figured out in a way which is helping people, and you're obviously able to grow your business.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like, or let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your whole goal of doing all of this that you're doing? You're interviewing me, you're interviewing other people. What's your goal?
My goal, I really want to learn as much as I can. Before, like I was mentioning, I had a mindset where I felt like I knew everything. And in doing this podcast and then, and doing events around the world, speaking with so many people, breaking out of my shell, I want to become the best marketer I could possibly be. Right. And I feel that podcasting is a great avenue for me to connect with people, not only just to learn about marketing or how I could become a better marketer, but a business person in general. When you have these types of conversations with entrepreneurs like yourself and myself, you learn a lot of things. You may learn something from me, I may learn something from you, and it's a nice flow of conversation that allows for a really organic conversation in general. And that's the reason why I'm really doing this. From a marketing perspective, my number one goal is to just know absolutely as much as I can to provide as much value as I can for the people that I'm working with. I don't want to be lazy. I want to be on top of on my game. I want to be on top of my shit. And like I said at the beginning of the conversation, man, me getting on with you is very, very important for me because of all of the things that I've learned that you've put out there. And now having this one-on-one connection and being able to ask you a lot of these questions that I may have had when I was, watching a video or seeing your stuff online. Now I'm able to do it. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Things that maybe couldn't have been done before. The podcast world is really helping us out now. So I'm using this as a tool to just be the best I could be and learn as much as I can, just be a sponge.
I think that's like a smart approach. Most people who do podcasts, funny enough, they say that. I don't see too many people actually learning. What they do with the podcast is just try to pitch, or they try to build up their popularity and personal brand. I think the most valuable thing from a podcast, believe it or not, is what you're doing, which is learning. And that's one of the main reasons I do a podcast. I'm researching, I'm always learning. I'm trying to give advice, but at the same time, I'm learning from the community. And that's an amazing thing. And it's just so crazy. It's like I do so many podcast interviews, and most people that do them, they're just like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast because I'm trying to drive revenue to my business. I'm trying to eventually figure out how to do ads or monetize. I want to eventually figure out how to maybe charge subscription like some other people are doing. And there's no right or wrong approach with anything that you want to do. You should do whatever makes you happy, whatever helps you hit your goals, assuming you're not doing anything unethical. But for me, I've always put knowledge as the most valuable piece of advice, or one of the most valuable things that you can ever gain in this world. So I always push it forward and try to get the most of it. And it's great to see that you're doing something similar.
Yeah, bro. Cause look, honestly, the money, like you could lose all the money tomorrow. You feel me? Like you could lose your money tomorrow. I could lose my money tomorrow.
Have you lost it all and made it all? Have you lost it at one point?
I've lost my money so many times. I already lost count because I believe in myself too much.
But that's a good thing. I've lost my money so many times too. I've lost count as well.
That shit's frustrating, man. But look, man, you could lose that money. All your social media accounts could be deleted tomorrow. Google could take you off of their search engines. But at the end of the day, what they cannot take is all the shit you learned in the last 20, 30, whatever years you've been in the game. Right. And that's the power of knowledge, just like the power of relationships. I always talk about the power of relationships. You need to cultivate great relationships and do right by people, because that is true wealth. Because you could run out of money, but your relationships and your knowledge will get you that money again really fast, as long as you move the right pieces. But people people want instant gratification now. They care too much about followers and this and that. I don't have a ton of followers on social media, Neil. I have like 18,000 followers on Instagram. I have a great audience when it comes to doing events everywhere that I go, or when it comes to pushing out content, I have a good response. But at the end of the day, I'm not the biggest guy out there, but I'm the guy that's wanting to learn the most. And I think that's what has the true value in social media nowadays, with so much, posing and fakeness that goes on. You never really know what's real or not, but what's really real is knowledge, and knowledge that you could apply to things that actually make something grow is something that people could recognize instantly. And that's what I want to be about. Yeah,
I love it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, I've been reading this week a lot about it. We were just discussing it here. I actually have my team around me. They're sitting around listening on chatbots, right? Messenger marketing.
Yeah.
We were just reading an article that probably before January, December, they're going to do a rollout for messenger marketing integrated with WhatsApp and Instagram. The Facebook ads landscape is completely changing right now. And we're at a really, really cool moment for growth, specifically for people that aren't in on it yet. What is your take on messenger marketing? How do you feel about it? Are you currently integrating it into any of your projects?
Yeah. So with me, I think chatbots, like messenger bots, is amazing. I leverage it. But here's the thing that most people don't tell you. Or basic stats. We here in the United States are using like iPhone, iMessage, all that kind of stuff. I don't know what they use for Android, but around the world, when I travel to all these events, speak to people, they're using like WhatsApp. In certain countries, it still costs money to text message, believe it or not. So people are starting to use things like WhatsApp, which are free. And now the United States, we were late adapters to WhatsApp compared to some of the other countries. But I do believe Facebook Messenger, once it's all intertwined, is going to be the future of messaging and how you communicate with each other. I do believe there's a ton of opportunities, but like everything else, I do believe Facebook's going to clamp down the reach. I do know for a fact eventually they are going to charge for the messages. So even if you have a big list, like think of emails. You collect 100,000 emails, you want to send out an email, you got to pay the service provider to send out those emails. Sure, and there's costs for them, but Gmail doesn't charge you to have your email go into someone's inbox. Facebook eventually is going to charge you for your messages to get across to certain people, even though they're on your list.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the shitty part. There's a ton of opportunities.
It is, because then it starts affecting it. It starts affecting the process again. Ad spend. It just starts adding more cost to it, and then obviously, then some people are not going to be able to advertise. Kind of like what's going on right now. You know, there's been a big change in Facebook ads. It was way cheaper to convert before, and now it's not. So you know, there's a smaller market share of people being able to work on it due to the fact they may not have enough budget to test, get enough data, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, I guess the people that really need to, that are really going to benefit from it are the people that are on top of it right now and are going to be ready for that change.
Yeah. And I don't blame Facebook for any of this kind of stuff. They're a business. They should do what's best for them.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
You know, we got to do what's also best for us. And I'm going to use messaging. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just saying it's going to suck because eventually it's going to cost money. And you know what? Then when it costs money, I'm still going to end up using it and paying them money. Like, what else am I going to do?
No, of course, man. We gotta pay for these tools. I mean, all these, I go crazy sometimes looking at how many programs we use for operating the agency. So many that for somebody that doesn't even work on computers, if they even remotely looked at this, all the shit that we have to click through, they would probably go crazy.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. Like all the stuff, all the apps, all the programs, it adds up to being a lot after a while.
Yeah, bro. So listen, man, I know you're busy. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. I want you to go ahead and plug in any exciting things you have going on right now that the audience could benefit from. Any of your projects that we just briefly discussed. Just go ahead and let them know.
My ad agency, Neil Patel Digital. Other than that, I am releasing a new version of Ubersuggest soon. So that's going to be fun. It'll have way more keywords. It'll have local results, so you can do keyword and marketing based off of local regions. And then we're going to add in question and answers and dashboards and tracking of rankings and all this kind of stuff, all for free.
This is really cool, Neil, to see all this growth that you've been through and to see you at a stage where you could do such growth to such a cool platform. Congratulations, bro. Honestly, that's really, really cool. You must be really proud of yourself. Neil, thank you so much for your time, bro. Good luck with everything. I hope to see that Ubersuggest really kicking. I know we're going to be using it here, and man, thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, so let's recap what we learned so far. Up until now, we've discussed the benefits of giving free value, like podcasts or even Neil Patel's Ubersuggest tool. Remember that there's always going to be risks, and they might cost you your farm, but you'll never get further unless you take a risk. I want to give a quick shout out to HoneyBook for making this episode possible. HoneyBook helps you streamline your business process from inquiry to booking to project completion. I've simplified my client booking process through HoneyBook's automated emailing system. My clients get their proposal, contract, and payment request all in one email sequence, even if they don't have a HoneyBook account. With HoneyBook, clients get automatic payment reminders, and all payments get deposited right into my bank account. It makes bookkeeping so much easier. You can even integrate it with QuickBooks. So go to honeybook.com and get 50% off when you use promo code Alex. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could share with someone, review, or even subscribe to the podcast. If you want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram at Hustle Inspires Hustle. Or you could follow me on my personal, Alex Quin with one N. This is the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast with Alex Quin.